I am Dr. Harpreet Kaur Kohli, Assistant Professor, Department of Distance Education of Punjabi University, Patiala. In this video, I will be discussing the syllabus of the third paper of MCOM third semester, Corporate Legal Framework. I welcome you all students to the third semester of the MCOM course. Now this subject consists of two sections. Section 1 deals with the Companies Act 2013. The first topic in this section deals with the concept and the meaning of company. The company form of organization is the most popular form of organization in businesses today. A company is an artificial, invisible, intangible person existing only in the eyes of law. The various types of companies that can be formed under the Companies Act 2013, namely the government company, the public company, the private company, the banking company, the one-person company, foreign company, small company, dormant company, and various other types of companies, they will be discussed. The procedure of formation of a company will also be explained to you in this section. The promoters are the people who come together with the idea of forming a company. On incorporation, normally the promoters, they become the first directors of the company. The rights, the duties and liabilities of the promoters will be explained to you. At the time of registration of a company, it has to submit two important documents, namely the Memorandum of Association and the Articles of Association. Memorandum of Association is the constitution of the company. It contains 6 clauses: the name clause, the objects clause, the liability clause, the registered office clause, the capital clause, and the subscription clause. All these clauses will be explained to you in detail in this section. As Memorandum of Association is the supreme document of the company, the procedure of its alteration is rigid to avoid changes on flimsy grounds. The circumstances under which the Memorandum of Association can be altered, along with the procedural aspect, will be taught to you. If any company violates the provisions of the objects clause of the Memorandum of Association, such an act is called ultra vires and it is beyond the power of the company. In case of an ultra vires act, even if all the directors give consent to such an act, that act cannot be ratified and cannot be made binding on the company. The consequences of ultra vires transactions, they will be explained to you. The next important document is the Articles of Association. It is subsidiary to the Memorandum of Association and it contains the rules for internal management of a company. It contains rules for calls on shares, lien on shares, transfer of shares, forfeiture of shares, surrender of shares, etc. Another important topic which will be discussed in this section concerns the prospectus. Now, prospectus is a document which is issued by a company inviting the public to make an offer for shares in the company. Now, the types of prospectus, namely the shelf prospectus, the red herring prospectus, the deemed prospectus, they all will be discussed in detail, along with the civil and criminal liabilities for misstatement in the prospectus. The different types of shares which can be issued under the Companies Act 2013 will be discussed, along with the different classes of share capital. The procedure of transfer of shares will also be discussed, along with the circumstances under which the transmission of shares can take place. The borrowing powers of a company limit the extent to which a company can borrow funds. So this will also be taught to you in this section. The next vital topic is related with the management of companies. As company is an artificial person, it has to be managed by natural persons called the directors. Now the appointment of directors, the powers, duties and liabilities, they will all be discussed in detail. The last topic in the section deals with the winding up of the company. As company is an artificial person created by a process of law, so it cannot die a natural death. The process of putting an end to the life of the company is called winding up, and all the details regarding the winding up will be explained to you in this section. The second section deals with the Competition Act and the Negotiable Instruments Act. Now, under the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, the meaning and the types of negotiable instruments will be discussed, along with the holder and holder in due course. The process of endorsement and crossing of checks will also be explained, along with the presentation of negotiable instruments. The next act in this section is the Competition Act 2002. Now, this act was formulated to promote healthy competition in the market and to check the abuse of dominant position by dominant undertakings. The meaning of anti-competitive agreement will be deliberated upon. The Act provides for the establishment of the Competition Commission. The composition, the powers and the duties of the Competition Commission of India will also be taught to you. The provisions under the Act relating to anti-competitive agreements, along with the powers of Commission in curbing the unhealthy practices in the market, they will also be discussed. With this video, you all must have got an insight into the course content of this paper. Thank you, students.